Welcome back, folks. Zonin here again, and it does look like we are about to be starting round 2 of Phoenixlight versus Dark Riku. We are now heading off to the Calderas refinery in an Elder versus Elder mirror matchup. Dark Riku, of course, took the first round against Phoenixlight using the Force Commander to vanquish the Pansy Eldar from the Green Tooth Jungle Redux using the Farseer. It'll be very interesting to see how this Eldar versus Eldar matchup is gonna be turning out. Most of these players here in this tournament are pretty capable of playing essentially any race, so it's gonna be, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to how this one is gonna be turning out. Difference in capping orders with Phoenixlight getting the victory point earlier than Dark Riku. It's gonna give it a bit of a head start, but on the other hand, his resources are gonna be coming in a little bit slower. It might not sound like much, but in games at this level, that small amount can and will end up making a difference. Very lucky on the special attack there on Dark Riku's Warlock, pretty much knocking away the Farseer and just capping the requisition point for a single moment, eliminating her entire progress and captain map. That's gotta be extremely annoying for Phoenix. That said, the Warlock is taking a ton of damage and he is getting dangerously low, but the Farseer doesn't have the ability to actually keep up with him, and he's gonna be getting away safely. Meanwhile, here on the other side, we do have a bit of a hard Guardian versus Guardian action. Both of them being it's in a rather weird situation. These guys are kind of in cover, but then again not really. I do believe these guys are in a bit of a better position, and it does look like they are pulling off ahead, but not as much as you would expect. On the other hand, these Banshees do manage to kill off a Farseer very early on. That's gonna be a big problem for Phoenixlight, taking a loss like that that quickly. Does look like Dark Riku tried to be sneaky there, getting the upgrade on his Guardians to suddenly have grenades available, but Phoenixlight is quick on the trigger and does manage to actually move them out of the way and keep firing without getting hit by the grenade, forcing Dark Riku to retreat despite having a bit more hit points. Does look like both players have the same thing in mind here, though. There's a bit of a nice bit of a knockback there, forcing the Banshees to spend even more time capping while under fire from these ranges. They do manage to finish the cap off before the second shot goes off, sparing them another model loss. Looks like we just about missed the Destructor there, doing a lot of damage to these Guardians, killing off 2 and leaving the rest of the poor guys on dangerously low health. Map control at the moment is very even indeed, with Phoenixlight a bit ahead on behalf of having a single power node more, and of course he's now able to cap points while Dark Riku is getting back into the fighting position. Dark Riku now revealing his own ranges. That's pretty much the thing about Elder versus Elder matchups. They have very high damage but very fragile units, and basically losing models is both easy and costly against them. As a result, using ranges in mirrors is a very, very common strategy indeed. Warlock being very aggressive, forcing off these Guardians who have to fleet of foot to actually get away. He's, however, getting led into pretty much the entirety of the opposing Elder army. Does manage to get a knockback, keeping the Farseer off his back, and is trying to inflict more damage on these Guardians. They are getting out of there, and the Warlock is now unopposed on attacking this vanilla Guardian squad. Without any upgrades, they're gonna take a ton of damage if they actually stick around. They are running right on out of there. Doesn't look like we have any upgrades on any of the commanders yet, though a single one is on the way. Dark Riku's definitely pulled ahead with these last few engagements, though. He's now pretty much capped most of the the map at this point, or at the very least decapped it. He's now going for a very early triple cap in regards to victory points. There's another ranger shot, forcing off Dark Riku's rangers, who is now down to a single member. Tries to knock away the Warlock from the victory point, but it's not enough. He is still able to continue capping, and he does manage to land the triple cap before he has to retreat. That said, Phoenix is going to be able to easily retake that, but it is going to be buying Dark Riku a bit of time and giving him the chance to get a bigger lead. Meanwhile, Dark Riku is using his Banshees to try to do a bit of power bashing, and well, as you can see, despite Guardians doing very nice damage for a tier 1 ranged unit, they just didn't really do all that much against the Banshees. Being as soon as they're melee, they get that melee units get a ranged resistor, or as soon as they're actually in melee combat, in order to well, reward them for actually getting them in combat. And for some reason, Generators actually counts as being in a dedicated melee combat. It's also one of the reasons why melee units are so great at power bashing, since they'll be much more resistant to ranged fire and able to actually finish off a gen bash before being forced off by enemy reinforcements. Both of the players are using their rangers very nicely, picking off models left and right. They definitely want to be countering each other's rangers, of course, but that's really risky. It's much safer to try and pick off a Guardian model here and a Banshee model there, and both players are definitely trying to avoid getting jumped by the other rangers. Basically, whoever gets the first shot is almost gonna well, they're not gonna be winning that engagement, as pretty much no players at this level is actually gonna be having a standoff with rangers without moving away, kiting. Ooh, connect shot, knocking down both commanders there. Quite unusual there. The connect shot can do a bit of friendly fire, but it's pretty much just a knockback, so it's usually not catastrophic. Still, rather amusing, I find. Farseer is getting into a bit of a precarious position. She is chasing the Warlock. She's being chased by the Banshees. The Warlocks are chasing. Very nice grenade attempt there from Phoenixlight, and he does manage to get off a model kill there. But Farseer definitely needs to be careful now. She is getting surrounded by the surviving Banshees, who have taken some damage. She's fortunately in cover, which is going to help her against well, I don't think it's going to be helping her against the Rangers, but she is starting to win this battle. There's another snipe shot on the Farseer, which could have been very dangerous indeed if the Farseer wasn't retreating at that point. At this stage, she is getting away relatively safely, and meanwhile, Dark Riku's Rangers are forced off by a flank from Phoenixlight's Rangers. Both players have now just hit tier 2, and Dark Riku's actually, maybe that was a bit of an oversight. He kept some dangerously low Banshees around Phoenixlight's base, and if it was really unfortunate, those Guardians would have been around a cap in the middle, which would have put them in an excellent position to try and land a grenade on these retreating girls. They do manage to get off without an incident, though. We have it, Farseer. Map control currently slightly in favor of Phoenixlight, although both players have the exact same resources at the moment. Pretty much the only difference being Dark Riku having one more unit on the field at the moment, although that is about to change. The Wraithlorf is going to be a lot of trouble to deal with, as it's much more durable than a Razorback. So the tactic Phoenixlight used last games in regards to doing a haywire and then charging in with the Banshee and the Farseer, that's going to be a fair bit less effective, as the Wraithlord is usually able to tank the damage unless it's pretty much stunned perfectly. And once it starts swinging, those Banshees are going to start dropping fast. Phoenixlight is definitely going to need to be doing a different way to stop this. It looks like Phoenixlight actually used his Guardians to charge in there and stop these. Oh, looks like a bit of a. Oh, that was a rather botched grenade attempt there. Actually ending up hurting his own Guardian squad. I don't think that's what killed one of the models, but it definitely didn't help. They have to get out of there. There's a special attack from the Brave Lord, but it does miss. I do believe it's been changed so it won't. It doesn't track. It doesn't track retreating units the same way as the Killer Khan special, the Death Threat special attack does, for example. But it looks like Phoenixlight has revealed his cunning plan in order to deal with Dark Riku's Brave Lord. He has gotten a Bright Lance on his own. You really don't see that one often. Most players will be going for the Shuriken platform as Riku has, and the thing about the Bright Lance is that it's very finicky indeed. Essentially, whenever you move the Wraith Lord, he can't fire the thing, so you'll have to manually stop the guy and have him target with his ranged weapons in order to actually make it fire. That said, I do believe it has some potential if you can actually, if you can control him, and I think the best way to do that would be to put him into range stance and then only use force melee in order to actually have him move towards units and engage in melee combat. Oh dear. Yeah, Dark Riku does see it, and this is very, very bad for these rangers. They are taking awful damage, and pretty much they didn't have a chance as soon as the Banshees overtook them there. Do lose a model trying to get to these Guardians, but it's going to be very dangerous for them to continue this chase as the second Guardian is now out and the Wraith Lord is beginning to flank them slowly but surely. They are getting out of there before they can actually retreat, but managing to kill off Phoenixlight's Rangers is a major setback. Although Rangers do tend to fall off late game, they are still very useful at bleeding your opponent dry, and Dark Riku is going to have a definite advantage in having his on the field still. There's Rangers shot, and curiously enough, it failed to actually kill off a single member this time. And there we go. Another Guardian Force in these Rangers who are... well, they're not even level 2 yet, but it certainly seems like they've been able to do a decent amount of kills there. Ghost Town once again used to control the Warlock, who doesn't have any war gear out yet though. Dark Riku is making do without just fine. That said, this Wraith Lord is being in trouble at the moment. He is getting... well, I do believe the thing that's happened is that he's... I can see Dark Riku's got his walk right out, so the Wraith Lord is haywired, and because of that, it's now behind in the HP race. Basically, this Wraith Lord can easily beat the other one in melee. Farseer now doing a bit of a standoff there, but she is taking awful damage. She really can't tank him, and now the Wraith Lord is about to get isolated with both angry Wraith Lord and the Banshees coming up behind him. If he's really unlucky, he might even have Wolf Spiders up, but he is retreating back towards his base, and Phoenix is now bringing out the second Wraith Lord. It's very interesting. He is getting the Shuriken Cannon on these on this one, which is going to be very dangerous for these Banshees especially, but it's also going to make him very effective at chasing and dealing with the Wolf Spiders. There's a special attack, knocking down two of these Guardians, and there goes down another one. He's going to be chasing a bit, probably trying to get off another model before they get away, but nope, they do manage to get away safely. Meanwhile, these Wolf Spiders actually took a fair bit of damage, but they are getting out of there. Looks like the Wolf Spider Exarch of the squad went down. So it's going to be a fair bit more expensive to actually enforce. Yeah, things are looking pretty even at the moment. Victory points are pretty much exactly even at the moment, with Dark Riku now having a tiny lead, which is about to be equalized and overtaken. And while Dark Riku does have another squad out, in particularly the Ranger squad, Phoenixlight does have two Wraith Lords out. Not to mention that the Farseer is the only one of the commanders who has an anti-vehicle in her possession. Meanwhile, Dark Riku still hasn't gotten any war gear out in this Warlock. Pretty much mostly using him as a means of disruption and capping in this game, it looks like.
Adding warp generator.
Phoenixlight is preparing to hold the middle as best as he can. Oh, sorry about that. Using his Guardians to repair. It's definitely going to help him that he's gone for this double Guardian build now. It can be quite difficult, especially considering the amount of damage this Wraith Lords can end up taking. Looks like the Banshees did get a very nice flank off on these Guardians, and they do take losses before they can actually get out of there. However, these Banshees are not gonna have to be have to start being careful though. Farseer is down here doing her thing, trying to capture this power. Now, both players have actually decided to build a bit of power here. There's a very big engagement there. It's two Wraith Lords against one, but one of them has now just been incapacitated by the Haywire grenade, and the repairing Guardians are forced to retreat. But oh dear, that was a brutal slash for the Wraith Lord, killing off two Warp Spiders. Those guys are not cheap at all. And this is gonna be real close. This Wraith Lord is very close to death. He is getting supported by both the Guardians and the second wall Wraith Lord out. But I don't think Dark Riku is gonna try and let him get away. He's now the Guardians are getting chopped up, and oh dear, this is gonna be really close. He's sending in his other Guardian squad in order to try and get the repair, but no, it goes down. Very unfortunate for Naaium, for Phoenixlight indeed. He definitely did his best to keep this Wraith Lord alive. He's now at a definite disadvantage, having only his Guardian squad as well as this lone Wraith Lord. He's gonna be trying and making Dark Riku pay for this chase, though, using his fully healed Wraith Lord to chase and lay down damage. I think in 2 hits this Wraith Lord is probably gonna be going down, and at the moment it doesn't look like Dark Riku can actually chase him. Oh dear, this is a special attack, and it completely misses the Wraith Lord, of course, and he's getting dangerously close to home base. It's not gonna be long until they can actually get reinforced, and it does look like Phoenixlight is calling off the pursuit. There hasn't really been any response from Dark Riku in regards to the chase, so Phoenixlight must definitely have known that it couldn't have been long before a counter-attack would have happened. That said, Phoenixlight is once again regaining control of the middle, and he is now also shortly getting in possession of both power points on the side, which is going to give him a definite advantage in regards to that resource. Still, though, it doesn't look like it's going to be the major focus in this particular matchup, because holy hell, that's a lot of blue right there. Bit of a calm before the storm. Dark Riku focusing his efforts here on the left side. Actually, bashing this here generator. Doesn't look like he wants to allow it to be another resource for Phoenixlight, even if he can't use it himself. Both players are for now avoiding each other, though. A bit of a ninja cap attempt by the Warlock has just been thwarted, and he's running right back to the safety of his primary force. Well, Phoenixlight is doing a very good job at keeping all his squad busy, making sure that no one's standing idly by any captured points. They are pretty much constantly moving around trying to capture a point somewhere. There's a lone Wraith Lord holding the electric point, but he is getting reinforced now, though. The Farseer is there, and boom! There's the reveal of the Fire Prism Phoenixlight now has out. And he finally reached tier 3. Still, though, this Wraith Lord is in a ton of trouble. He's once again gotten Haywire, disabling his defenses completely. He does not have a chance in hell of actually getting away from these Banshees unassisted. Unfortunately for him for now, the Fire Prism is obliging beautifully, dealing a ton of damage with its dispersed beam, and also more importantly, it's keeping these Banshees knocked flat, which makes it very difficult for them to keep up. Still, though, he is unable to keep this Wraith Lord alive, and it ends up going down. That said, Dark Riku is now once again in a rather dangerous position. The Farseer is now chasing this Wraith Lord, apparently in the hopes of taking her down, but it's not going to be happening. It looks like he's instead focusing his efforts on this This here Warlock here. Dangerous and close to help, but it looks like Phoenixlight was actually using the attack ground function on the Fire Prison. Instead of firing on the chasing Warlock, he was still firing on his victory point, knocking over his own Farseer for a moment. The focus beam can be a bit unreliable, but it is possible that if he actually fired on the Warlock instead of on the ground, he might have been able to get the kill off on the street. That said, the Warlock really isn't the linchpin of Dark Riku's forces, so I'm not sure if that would have made any particular difference. Phoenixlight taking terrible losses trying to reclaim the middle, and Dark Riku now revealing his second Wraith Lord. It's going to be quite hard for Phoenix to deal with, I wager. Both players really wanted to capture this middle victory point at the moment, but both players pretty much just has two powerful units around to allow for that. There's the Farseer armor of Farseer and ability slowing down the Wraith Lord very nicely and allowing the Fire Prison to easily get off a few shots. Guardians out behind the shield trying to avoid taking fire. Still though, they are getting a jump for these Wolf Spiders, doing a bit of trying to keep them busy, but still they do end up getting forced, but not without forcing the Guardians off as well. There's now no haywire to take care of this this Fire Prison, or for that matter, this Fire Prison. These Banshees are definitely taking massive losses at this point. One Fire Prism is extremely dangerous to charge up against, but two of them spread out like that, you are gonna get hurt. No question about that. Fire Prism is advancing in there, knocking down those Guardians, trying to repair the Wraith Lord. As you can see, Phoenixlight is doing a very nice job indeed at alternating his fire modes on the Fire Prison. Pretty effortlessly switching between the different. Oh, it looks like we have an Armor of Farseer and Eldritch Storm combo, but it doesn't really look like it's doing any particular hits. Still though, it is forcing this Wraith Lord to actually go towards the Fire Prison in the middle, and that's not an experience it's gonna live through. That's that the second Wraith Lord is also taking a ton of damage, and it goes down as well. I think it's starting to look rather dangerous indeed for Dark Riku, who have lost both very expensive units now. At the moment, Dark Riku still has his Warp Spiders and his Banshees, and they are easily gonna able to make short work of either one of these if the Warp Spiders can actually land one of his haywires. Still though, actually doing that is going to be very difficult if Phoenixlight does a good job of covering the two Fire Prisons.
Our guardians have given their lives for our cause.
Looks like Phoenixlight is setting up to hold the middle of at all costs, although Dark Riku is trying very hard to cap this point, but he is getting very low, and down he goes. Victory points now 1-1 with Dark Riku still having a relatively small advantage. These Guardians here in the mid who looks like they weren't quite in the position they wanted to be in. They do manage to get into safety in time without taking any losses from these scouts here. As in scouts as their army role, not as in the unit, guys. Just because I know someone's gonna call me out on it if I don't make that correction myself. And it does look like both players are now escalating the conflict into its final stages. Phoenixlight is still behind in regards to a victory point, but he is slowly creeping towards Dark Riku's 199, and oh dear, these Guardians are definitely way in over their head with both Banshees charging at them, and these Guardians laying down fire. They are gonna be taking it. Well, they did take a few model losses there, certainly, and that's not really something either player seems to be able to afford at the moment. Both definitely want to get another victory point, but at the same time, neither of them can really afford a massive battle with massive
The enemy
losses.
has 200 points remaining.
Our reinforcements are here. Guardians have come afield.
Bit of a quiet before the storm moment. Neither player has is actually engaging each other at the moment. There we go, though the Guardians are in a very bad position, having to retreat through all these Guardians, and the Warp Spiders, and these Guardians. It would have been very, very bad indeed if not for the covering fire. These fire prisms very nicely able to stop any grenades from happening of these other four guys in chasing. Warp Spiders end up giving their lives to land what seems like a worthless haywire grenade, but maybe not. There's the Eldritch Storm, and the Guardians are retreating right through it, taking terrible, terrible damage, with the Fire Prism going down as well, and the entire squad getting destroyed. Wow! I mean, that Eldritch Storm tends to have a bad rap as far as ultimate global abilities goes, but that thing was absolutely perfect. And actually managing to catch that Guardian squad in retreat, very well played, good sir. Very well played indeed. Losing both these squads has definitely evened out the playing field a fair bit, but I would still say that Phoenixlight has the upper hand at the moment. While Dark Riku has managed to cap the middle victory point, Phoenixlight in the meantime did send his Farseer down to decap Dark Riku's natural victory point, which means that they're still even, and as soon as he regains control of the middle, it's gonna be in Phoenixlight's favor once again. Dark Riku is now behind by a bit more than 50 victory points, and each at this point each engagement is gonna be crucial. Both players definitely knows that losing an engagement at this point is gonna bring their victory points down to very dangerous levels indeed. And the question is what Dark Riku is gonna attempt in order to break this hold here. He now has a Fire Prism mounted on his own, trying to lay down some damage to this avatar. Doing a pretty decent amount of damage per hit, but still, this sorry about that. This avatar has a lot of hit points. It's gonna take a ton of shots from this Fire Prism to actually take it down. So question is if he's gonna be able to do it. Looks like we have a bit of sneakiness going on there. Fire Prism is charging in, trying to wreck this here shield to destroy the cover of these Guardians. And boom! The avatar is having none of that crap in his house. Knocking away the Rangers and forcing them off. One of them losing his life in the explosion.
Our mission above all.
That's right, this other Fire Prism is, I think there's been a bit of a... question is if it was the... No, it's not the Farseer, it's definitely been the... this Fire Prism is actually won a few firing exchanges with this particular Fire Prism. There's a slowing field ability, slowing down the Banshees just enough, but yeah, they are gonna have to get out of there. Warlock is still not really having any war gear whatsoever. At this point it's looking very, very bad for Dark Riku indeed. Having to deal with both two Fire Prisms and an avatar in the middle. It's not like he's swimming in resources at the moment. He does have a Fire Prism out at the moment, he does have the guns to repair, but pretty much both Fire Prisms can either nuke his Fire Prism or they're going to be able to blow up the repair crew pretty effortlessly. That said, Dark Riku has managed to pretty nicely wear down this avatar without engaging in any massive fights.
The prism cannon is yours to command. We trust in your guidance.
Oh dear, looks like we had a bit of a rear hit there. Riku, oh wow! I actually thought that Riku was gonna lose his Fire Prism right then and there, but very nicely Phoenixlight decides to use his time field ability to stop it. Dark Riku has to keep charging forward in order to actually get the shot off, and he's now in a dangerously low position, and he does go down to the fire from the other Fire Prism. Very brave play by Dark Riku there, but Phoenixlight reacts reacted beautifully, using his time field to force Dark Riku to either charge forward or retreat. Both of them would probably have ended the game, the Fire Prison form right there, and Dark Riku ends up conceding with just 35 victory points remaining. That ends up leaving the score at a 1-1. Well played to both our gentlemen, and looking forward to round 3.